Good morning once again. This is Brenda Perryman for the Brenda Perryman Show this morning. And this Sunday is Mother's Day. Some of us still have our mothers. Some of us don't have our mothers. But what are our memories of our mothers? And what makes a good mother? It's a poem I wrote, a while back, and it's called And You Loved Us Anyway. And it was about my mother and all mothers. There's just something special about a mother, and it's something special being a mother also. I'd like to read that to you. We were not the best of kids, but you loved us anyway. You taught us right from wrong, and many times we did more wrong than right. You kept us anyway. You always said a hard head makes a soft behind. And though ours were hard most of the time, you kept teaching us anyway. At times, food was hard to come by, and I refused milk, and Bernard didn't want liver or peas. But you fed us anyway. You sacrificed lunch at work so that we could eat lunch at school. You raised us on the phone and taught us the golden rule. Yes, do unto others is a rule we try to follow each day. And even though sometimes we'd slipped, you'd loved us anyway. You are our best teacher. You taught us to stand when we longed to sit and be strong when it seemed simpler to be weak. When the doctor said I'd never walk again, you always said that I would. You taught me to beat the odds and showed me that I could. Mother, you never gave up on us and taught us to make our way. And though we weren't the best of kids, you loved us anyway. And, that's how I felt about my mom, because my mother was a single mom, and she used to, she was a nurse at Ford Hospital. And she would, in those days, phone calls would cost a dime. And she would put 10 cents in the phone booth and let it ring twice. And then we had to call her back. That was another way of her making sure that we were in the house. And it's like she raised us part of the time on the telephone. So this morning we're waiting for a call to come in. And in the meantime, while we're waiting, perhaps you'd like to call in and tell us some of the memories of your mother that we hold dear. Now, that was a poem about my mother. But I have another one about being a mother, and I think all mothers could probably relate to this one. Let me make sure. And it's called As Your Mother. But, being a mother is something very, 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 very special. And we have somebody who's calling in right now in just a minute. But I can start the poem. It's called As Your Mother. As your mother, I wish I could cry your tears to keep you from feeling sadness. As your mother, I wish I could make right your disappointment so you'll never feel betrayed. I wish I could experience your first broken heart so you won't feel like you're dying inside. I wish I could hit everyone back who hit you first so they'll know not to hit you again. As your mother, I realize that I can't fight all your battles, but because I am your mother, I could teach you strength by first teaching you to love yourself enough to get up when you're knocked down. As your mother, I must teach you to love everyone, but realize you cannot save the whole world, only a portion of it. As your mother, I must teach you to be aware of negative people, but don't take ownership of their pain. As your mother, I must teach you to be a good parent so that my grandchildren will be good people. Always know that even though I won't be there to shield you from all heartaches, hits, and pains, and my call is in right now. So let me take this call. Ladies and gentlemen, I have on the phone Mrs. Lucille O'Neill, Miss Shannon Wade, and Miss Megan Marshall. Good morning.
Good morning, Brenda.
How are you? I wanna wish you early Mother's Day to all of you.
Thank you.
Wow,
Thank you so much.
being a mom can be called the toughest job you've ever had. But it's so rewarding. And Mrs. O'Neill, I'd like to start with you, and then I'm going to speak with Shannon, and then Megan. But I have your
Yes.
pictures. They're getting ready to come up on the screen right now. But Mrs. O'Neill, tell us about the most inspirational mom program.
The Boys and Girls Club have partnered with the University of Phoenix, and they initiated a national search for the most inspirational mom. And they had many entries, but they narrowed down the entries to 15 finalists, and out of the 15 finalists, we were able to come up with these three recipients of the full tuition paid scholarships for the program. They are inspirational moms in their own right. They have overcome some obstacles and challenges, and they reached out to community as well as supported their families and took care of their children. And all of these moms put their dreams and their aspirations on the back burner so that they can care for their children, nurture their children, and otherwise make a difference in other people's lives. I'm so excited for them and happy for them, too, especially that they have an opportunity to continue their education, which I'm sure they had to put on hold.
Now, Shaquille was in the Boys and Girls Club, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And I also was a member of the Boys and Girls Club when it was only a boys club.
Yeah. Oh, yes, because I remember it being only a boys club.
Girls Club.
Oh, so you were a member when you were coming up?
I was a member in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, really? Really? So you're from New Jersey?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I was a single mom too. I mean, due to a divorce, but I know what it is raising children, be it girls or boys. And Shannon,
Yes.
hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you're the mother of Chloe, right?
Yes, I am.
She is a beautiful young lady, and we have her on the screen here right now. She's a beautiful young lady. And you lost your husband, right?
Yes, I did. About 5 years ago, he passed away from complications of surgery. It was something that was very unexpected. We definitely weren't ready for it, and so I was left on my own with a 2.5-year-old trying to find a way to make everything work and find my way through the grief process as well.
Well, were you working at the time, or were you a housewife? What was your state at that time?
I was working full-time, so she was, in an in-home daycare with someone who treated us as family, so I was very lucky in that respect. I was also lucky enough to live in the same town as my parents and have family close by. But oftentimes, as a widow, and I'm sure that many of your viewers can empathize with this, as a widower, you feel very much alone, even though you have family and friends beside you, supporting you, because so many people have not experienced that. And it's such a big loss and a life-changing moment.
And you had to go on and work through your grief. You had to go on. You had to keep it moving, right?
Yes, and I did that because of my daughter.
Right.
I think if it hadn't been for her, I might have just curled up in the fetal position and given up. But she was absolutely my reason to get up every morning.
And why did you enter?
I entered because I was approached by our local Boys and Girls Club, and they had gotten the word from the Boys and Girls Club of America that they had this scholarship opportunity available, and they brought that information to their staff, and several of the staff members mentioned my name, and they asked if I would be interested in entering. And I had always wanted to go back to school, but as a single parent, there just simply wasn't a financial way to make that happen. So I thought, well, I'm certainly never going to win this scholarship opportunity. So sure, why not? I'll apply. And then lo and behold, a couple months later, I received a phone call from the Boys and Girls Club of America that I'd been selected as a scholarship recipient.
Well, congratulations, congratulations. I'd like to ask Megan. Megan, can you tell us a little of your story?
Good morning. I'll be happy to. I'm the mother of two. With my husband, I have a 7-year-old stepson, and my baby girl just turned a year old, which is hard to believe. But I was a club kid myself, like Lucille, and I counted on Boys and Girls Club because I had a single dad, and I went there every day after school, and it's such a part of me and had such an impact on who I am today that when I moved to an area that didn't have a Boys and Girls Club when I was 12, it was pretty devastating, to be honest. And I just saw so many of my friends go down the wrong road, and I lost a lot of them, either to jail or death, and it was just pretty tragic. So I always told myself I would do something about it. And 6 years ago, I started the movement and founded a Boys and Girls Club in my town, which has just been thrilling. I currently serve as the board president. We just purchased our own facility last year and have been renovating it ever since, and the kids just love it. And it's because of my position with them that I heard about this scholarship, and just like Shannon didn't think I had a shot, so why not? And applied, and I'm still dumbfounded and amazed that
well, a lot of us say
I'm one of the selected recipients, and having that title of most inspirational mom, it's
but you know, you had to take a shot.
There's so many moms out there that have such inspirational stories that just haven't been told. That I'm honored. I'm honored to be in this class of people. I really am.
Wow. What was your experience like, Shannon, with the being a most inspirational mom? When did you, in fact, both of you, when did you get the title? How long ago were you notified?
I received the title on April 3rd. I had gotten a voicemail message from Coco Wolf with the Boys and Girls Club of America asking me to give her a call back, that they had some further questions about my scholarship application. And I talked with my boss and excused myself and went to the break room and gave her a call back. And they informed me that I was one of the 3 recipients, and I cried in the work break room, and I said, "You've got to be kidding me."
Now,
and they actually said to me, "No, it's April 3rd. It's not April 1st. It's April 3rd."
Is this Shannon talking?
I was just so
is this Shannon?
shocked and honored, and it's been such a gratifying experience.
Now, was that
I
Shannon?
can't even put words to it.
Was that Shannon speaking?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Megan, what about you? When did you find out and know?
I found out on the same day, and I was home for lunch, ironically, so it was just a normal day. I was home for lunch from work, and I was actually holding my baby girl and getting her fed as well when I got the call, thinking it was a telemarketer, and picked up the phone, and it was Coco Wolf with the Boys and Girls Club, and I was uncharacteristically speechless as well. But then I quickly regressed to a little girl and started jumping up and down and running around the house screaming for my mommy, and it's just unbelievable. It really was, and it's just been a whirlwind of fun since then, and the exposure that it's getting for my club and for moms everywhere. It's just been fantastic.
Well, Lucille, Mrs. O'Neill?
Yes.
You've been in the public eye for so long, but a lot of people don't know your story. Would you like to share your story with us?
Brenda, there's so much, but I can share a little bit. I'm
okay,
not sure
I know. But would you share a little bit with us?
I was a mother at 17. Shaquille was born when I was fresh out of high school. And I went on to mother 3 other children, so I have 4 children.
My goodness.
4 adult children now. And then I had a bout with alcoholism. I had tragedy in my life, and I lost my mother. My daughter had a bout with cancer, and thank God she's still here with us today, healthy and doing well. And I've been through challenges, too, and when people look at me, maybe today I look very, very good, but it has not always been this way. But I am so grateful that I had the life that I had. And I was telling Megan yesterday that the things that I've learned along the way, being a mother, I am so happy to be able to share with young mothers.
Absolutely.
I'm a senior citizen now, but I don't call myself old. I just say I'm seasoned.
Yeah,
because
yes, we're,
I just love life and I
season.
love people, and I'm just willing to be able to share. And I tell most women that it's never too late for a new beginning. I was able to go back to school in my late 40s and pursue a dream that I had of going to college. And those degrees that I have, I'm using them every day. And life is just really, really good right now. I'm so blessed in many ways.
Yes, and as far as 4 children are concerned, that's a lot of children. I have 3 myself, and they're grown also. And people don't know sometimes how it is a full-time job in and of itself being a mom. Isn't that correct?
It, it is. It really is.
And it's an
But
emotional
what is
job.
what I do love is seeing my grandchildren now, seeing my children in my grandchildren now. And then let me just take the opportunity to say Happy Mother's Day to you, Brenda, also.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I have 3, and I don't know. It's something about those grandchildren, isn't it?
I know.
Oh my gosh, my one of my daughters said all the things that you let them do, we couldn't do, but you know. There's something about those grandchildren. Happy Mother's Day to you also. And you lost your mom, and I know that was she was a touchstone for you.
Yes, she was. She was my greatest inspiration. She is so sweet, and we're still celebrating her life today. We raised money for nursing scholarships in her honor because she was a nurse by profession. So we're keeping her legacy alive, and I believe that all mothers build a legacy for their children. So I still strive every day to be the best mom that I could be.
You are such an inspiration, and I'm sure you're inspiration to Shannon and Megan. And we had another recipient, Linda Martinez, who isn't with us right now. But Shannon, you want to get your bachelor's degree in psychology, right?
That's correct.
And what I was so taken with is you want counselors in your program who have experienced loss. Isn't that
Yes,
correct?
I would like to connect widows and widowers with a counselor who has experienced a similar loss. I was very blessed to have some wonderful counselors along the way for myself, but still didn't quite feel the connection with them that I had hoped, because even losing a parent is such a different loss. The connection just wasn't there for me, and I'm hoping to provide that for some other people along the way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the Boys and Girls Club, I really have to give them kudos also. And you, Mrs. O'Neill, because you are keeping it going. You have such a legacy already. How does it feel just looking at your legacy? You're seeing it.
I'm proud because I remember where I was, and I can look back and feel very, very proud about where I am now. But I have to tell you, I didn't get here by myself.
Right.
And so I have to. It's important to me to reach out and help somebody else. Had so much help along the way in the Boys and Girls Club. They have been phenomenal trying to bring families together. And we're all in this together.
We are. We are. I have a question for you. This is kind of off the cuff. With Shaquille's commercial where he says when he was born, his mom said, "This was more than I was expecting." I think it's something like that. Did you chuckle when you saw that?
Yes. He's telling the truth. When our children are born, we never know what they're going to be when they grow up.
Right.
And he was normal. He was a normal size, but he grew into a fine young man. And I told him a lot of times that he was somebody very special because growing up, he was different from the other children, and that wasn't always
in
a
what
happy
respect?
place for him.
In
Because
what
they
respect?
made fun of him, and he had some rough days, but he has turned out to be so well. He's a great young man, got a kind heart, generous, and he is just good to people. He loves people. And he does not forget those times when he used to come home crying a lot because of the treatment that he got from the other people in the world that didn't understand. But I tell him, still today, you're special. God made you special. And you stand up and you be proud.
And I'm sure you tell your other children that too. How many girls and how many boys do you have?
I have 2 girls and 2 boys, and Shaquille is my oldest son, and then I have a baby boy who's 6'8", so we're all standing tall.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'2".
Oh, wow. I'm 5'11", and my son is 6'7". So I understand. I understand how they went through shoes.
Have outgrown you too.
Yes. I'm looking up, and I know you're looking up also. Well, Megan and Shannon, I want to say congratulations to you on behalf of TV 33 WHPR Comcast in Detroit. We are so proud of you for being selected an inspirational mom. And Mrs. O'Neill, we are so happy that you gave us a call, and you've had tears. All of you have had tears in my eyes. My eyes have welled up with tears just thinking about it, because, we're moms. And we know the sacrifices. Yes. We know the sacrifices sometimes, and it's good when our children know also. And I thank you so much, and I want you all to have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day. And I'd love to keep up with what's happening with you.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Goodbye, ladies.
Thank you, Brenda.
Goodbye. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day.
And to you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was so very nice. And, when you think sometimes of your children and what your mothers have done for you, you're very, very fortunate to have a good mother, And sometimes being a mother isn't always being your child's friend. I think one of the problems that's going on these days is a lot of times a lot of these parents want to be their children's friend. Well, sometimes you have to be the bad guy. It's just something that happens, and sometimes you just have to be that person. So, and I see a lot of that. And having taught school for so long, I've seen what has happened to the kids whose parents laid down the law and the kids whose parents didn't. We always want to encourage our children, but when they're wrong, they're wrong. Also, I'd like to remind everybody that this evening is the Highland Park High School Alumni Talent Show. And it starts at 7 o'clock. Tickets are $20. Of course, there's a VIP reception. And there's an after party, and that's a little more. That's $50, I believe, but it's going to be so much talent. This is going to be like a concert, like a great, great concert. It is just going to be terrific. And Coco is the mistress of ceremonies. It's going to be great. In fact, it seems like this weekend I'm going to be hanging out at the high school here in Highland Park, because tomorrow I'm going to judge the Grammys at Highland Park's Renaissance Academy. So it is just spectacular. I don't know. There's something about Highland Park. I can't get away from it. I can't. Is there a call? Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Brenda Perryman.
Hi.
My name is Dwayne Parham, and I was watching your show
Dwayne.
today.
How are you?
I'm fine. And you said something in regards to if you had something to say about your mom, call in.
Yes,
please. And I wanted to share something with you. I can think of so many different things, but one thing my mom shared with me, I recall when I was a young lad, we were on our way to church, and the person was selling the flowers, Mother's Day flowers, and they were, as you know, red and white. And I asked her, I said, Mom, what are the different colors for? She said, well, the red was for if your mom was still living, and the white was for if your mom was deceased.
We gotta hurry. They're playing my theme song.
Really,
go on.
That was just a sad thing to think about.
Right.
People that didn't have a mom. And so I think about that every Mother's Day. My mom's been
you know-
gone since 2010.
Oh, you have my deepest sympathy. You have
Oh.
my deepest sympathy because I know. And I'd like to thank you for calling in. Got to keep up with, this is the great Dwayne Parham, everybody. So, Dwayne, I'll be keeping up with you, and you got to come on the show.
Wonderful. I most certainly, I have to call you people and make that happen.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Make sure,
God bless.
contact me.
Happy Mother's Day.
Same to you. Thank you. Everybody, join us at 11 a.m. for Table Talk this morning. I will see you. Thank you.